Watauga Arts Council with your host, Cherry Johnson, serving arts in Watauga County for more than 30 years.
Hi, I'm Cherry Johnson with Watauga County Arts Council, and welcome back. The person I've got with me today, I think you've met before. Most of you have, at least. This is Marcia Holmes. Marcia is our gallery chairperson. She also teaches art at the local senior centers and brings a horde of wonderful folks with her to exhibit their work and also to just be involved in the arts, and it's really, really a cool thing. But this month, we are celebrating Marcia as an artist. Marcia's a very talented artist, as you can see from the paintings that are with me. And, you know, I think I've known Marcia for a lot of years, and it was several years before I ever saw your work, because you're always showcasing somebody else. Well, that's kind of your focus.
It is, because, you know, I think I get my inspiration and my kind of mojo from teaching and inspiring other artists to create. So
they definitely, it works because they do create a lot of really cool stuff.
It is something I'm very proud of, and I'm very proud of my students' work. So,
how many years have you been teaching at the senior centers now?
13 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's been wonderful. I didn't even realize it was been that long. You know, when you're having fun, you know, you kind of forget that you've been doing this for quite a while. But I thoroughly love it. I really do. And it's such a nice opportunity for me to help others create things. And
I think that's why it works.
Yes.
Because that's where your heart is.
It is.
And it really does
It
show.
inspires me to also create. So it's a win-win situation.
Well, and your folks are a great family.
Well, they are, and they're
really
so
are.
sweet to me and kind to me. I recently had a show up in Blowing Rock at the Edgewood Cottage, and it was a wonderful experience, and I loved every day of it. It was so much fun, but you know, my students threw me a reception. They brought flowers. They brought food. They did anything they could to support me in my show, and so it was very touching to me, and I was very thankful.
They're great folks, and they're kind of I would say probably the core of the volunteer force that we have with the Arts Council.
And as well as a lot of the paintings that are in the gallery. We do have the Serendipity, which is, if you take my classes, you get a gallery.
That's right.
That comes with
Which is a big deal.
It is, and so it's a great opportunity to show your work when most of us, that's a little scary, you know, to go out there and put their work out there.
And then some of your artists also participate in group exhibits that we do that I know they would not participate in if they weren't in your class because they might not even find out about it. So you're a great source of information for them, and you get them involved and sort of stretch them just a little bit.
That's right. And this upcoming show, Portraits of Our Community, is just what you're talking about. It created a lot of, oh, I could go paint downtown, or I could go paint the Jones House, or I could go paint the old barn in my neighborhood, or, you know. And so this show that we have up now called Portraits of Our Community is a wonderful eclectic view of our community by our artist. So I hope everybody wants to come out and really look at it, recognize that road, that barn that you know, or that person. There are people, places, animals.
And if you don't understand why that means community, then there's a statement under each one of them.
Exactly.
Where the artist has explained why they took that as their example of community.
Right.
Why that means that.
Right. And a lot of my work and work of people that work on scenes around in our area realize that some of these things are a thing of the past. These barns are falling down. These roads are getting wider.
Right.
You know, so our scenery changes as it should, but it's a nice way to come and look and have memories and of our community. So I hope everyone joins us.
Your work is, well, to a great extent, I see you in your work because it all seems to have a tie to something in your life, something important to you.
And I think all artists. I mean, we can't really create or paint unless we sort of know it.
Right. You can't just go pick something and paint it.
And the passion shows through. So I guess my work that is showing in the Open Door Gallery, is also a portrait of my community.
Well, this painting in front of us, I think, says a lot about your family and your life. And
That's
tell us
right.
about that.
Well, we have raised Appaloosas for about 25 years now, so they're a very big part of our life. In fact, someone has to feed them every morning and every night and make sure that the gates are closed and that kind of thing. So they've been very much a part of our life. And so I paint them. I paint what I know, and I also tell my students to do the same thing.
Right, right.
This one, of course, you know, I have horses around me. They're right outside my door. They're on my way into work every morning. And also flowers as well. I think this area is just exquisitely beautiful.
Now, you named that piece Grace and Exuberance.
Right.
Okay, we were talking about, wow, this piece, what the name of this piece, and you got to hear this. Tell me what you're thinking about naming this piece. It's brand new.
This one's called Friendship. And the reason is because I was given this bouquet of flowers from a wonderful student of mine, Kit Fisher, and she has a beautiful yard and garden, and she gave it to me at my show at the Edgewood Cottage. And so while I was there at the Edgewood, I painted this. And to me, it wasn't just flowers, it was the friendship that was shared from all my students.
And then you kind of took it one more level. You gave the flowers to your granddaughter.
Well, I did. I gave them to my granddaughter, who loved them, took them home. Later, she was at my house, and she looked at the painting, and she said, well, how come you painted my flowers? And so, you know, it was kind of interesting that she still recognized that that was her bouquet of flowers that I had given her.
That is, because, you know, you see bouquets of flowers everywhere all the time, and they become kind of a blur of flowers.
Exactly.
But she really recognized that bouquet, which I think is fascinating.
You know, I should call it Maggie's flowers.
Friendship, Maggie's flowers.
flowers, yes.
You know, it's interesting sometimes what artists will name their work. And sometimes you think, what I get frustrated with is when they do Untitled: 1, Untitled: 2. You know,
yeah, no
it's like,
creativity there at all, you know.
So
I mean, I'm a little on the side of, you know, I almost have to name it something I can remember.
Yes, and I've noticed that paintings have a tendency to change names over time.
Right.
Certain artists I'll know the painting by a certain name, and then the next time I see that painting, they've named it something different. And I'm like, I thought it was named that.
Yeah, so, you know, I usually try to name it something that connects to me so that I can, like you say, remember it at my age.
Well, they all have a story.
Well, they do. I do. This horse, her name is Grace. And I felt like it just was a great example. The baby next to her was exuberant, you know, so not that we named them that, but, you know.
But that baby was definitely.
Exactly. So if I give it a name that connects with me and the time that I painted it, I'm much easier to remember that later.
Right. Now, how many paintings do you think you've painted in your lifetime?
Oh, gosh. I have no idea.
Exactly.
Hundreds.
Exactly.
Hundreds.
So do you paint every day? All the time?
I try to. I tell my students to try to, you know, make a mark on a piece of paper at least every day. It's and so I do try to. Even if it's just doodling while I'm on the phone, you know.
Keep the
but that
skills.
is, and so I draw an awful lot. I teach a drawing class. I think that empowers artists to be able to create what they want because they have a little better skill at being able to draw something. Or express themselves.
And drawing is to some degree a science. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there are tricks of the trade and things that you don't see unless someone points it out.
Right.
And then once they do point it out, it's kind of like, oh, I can do this.
Right.
You know.
So in my drawing class, I do try to give you those tools. That's what we sort of call them, so that we can, you know, be better equipped and come to the table with, well, how do I make that mark? Or what do I use to make that mark? What kind of paper? You know, there's a whole slew of questions out there, and the market, of course, wants to sell you everything.
I know, so everything's the perfect thing.
Exactly. So, you know, I try to weed through that, and we work on the basics. And I've got a show right now over at the Lewis Herald Senior Center, and that is a whole hallway, the whole building is full of my students' artwork. Yeah. And it is wonderful. So if you have a chance, please come out to the Senior Center and take a look at that, as well as our gallery show that's going to be.
I think a lot of folks are uncomfortable or intimidated, I should say, by going into a place like that, but it's open to anyone to come in and see, you know.
And the classes, for the most part, are free, or very low cost. You know, exercise class, just, it's a great way to get together with other people in your community around the same age. You have to be over 60 to be in that. But I love working there. I think it's a great place to come and visit and check out all the activities that are going on, from exercise to diet to computer skills, which is what I need to go to.
Well, the first excuse people have to go in the door then is to check out this exhibit.
Exactly. So come by and look at the exhibit, pick up a brochure, see what else is going on there as well.
And the exhibits that we've just been talking about at the Blue Ridge Art Space will be up through the month of September, up until I think the 6th of October.
Yes.
And so I encourage you to come by and check those out as well. We are open from 11:30 to 5:30 on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and from 1:30 to 5:30 on Tuesday and Wednesday. So I encourage you to come out. There's lots of time, and if you can't make those hours, call us, and we'll make sure somebody's there to let you in, because it really is something we want open to the whole. I consider it a community center for the arts.
Yes.
And I really think that's what it is. That's what we want it to be. That's what everybody, you know, it's supposed to be your space as much as anybody else's. You know, you're supposed to come and enjoy the arts. You can purchase the arts. You can just enjoy looking at them. You can experience them. You can try them out and do it yourself. You can show your work off. There's levels for everybody involved in the arts in any way at all. So.
It is. It's a wonderful place. So if you haven't checked it out, you have this Saturday to come by from 5:30 to 7:30.
And this is taped, but it will be aired after that. So you missed the Saturday for the second Saturday for this exhibit, but we do it every second Saturday. So just mark it on your calendar. It's not that hard. Every second Saturday from 5:30 to 7:30, I'm going to be at Blue Ridge Art Space and party with them and celebrate the arts, because that's what we do. We have a great party, and we have arts demonstrated throughout the building. We also have arts exhibited throughout the building. We have performances going on. We have just a variety of things happening, and you can be part of it, and it's free. Just come by and enjoy it. So.
Yes. Thank you, Jerry. I appreciate it.
Well, I'm glad that you were able to showcase your work. I was so delighted when we were able to do that. We've been wanting to do this for a while, and we just hadn't found the right niche. And so,
well, it worked with our portraits of our community, as that is what I paint. So,
and frankly, Marcia's a portrait of our community in a lot of ways. So,
well, thank you.
Check our website, watauga-arts.org, for information about this and a lot more.
Watauga Arts Council with your host, Cherry Johnson, serving arts in Watauga County for more than 30 years.